My name is Daniel Price, and I'm a 38-year-old emergency room nurse from San Antonio, Texas. What I'm about to share with you is the most vivid, intense, and life-altering experience of my existence. A near-death encounter that pulled back the veil of reality and revealed the terrifying, beautiful battle raging just beyond what our eyes can see. This happened on June 15th, 2023. I clinically died for 22 minutes after an accident that began as an ordinary commute home. It was a blisteringly hot summer afternoon, and I was driving my usual route on Interstate 35 after a grueling 12-hour shift. Exhausted, I rolled the windows down, hoping the rush of hot air would keep me alert. The crash came out of nowhere. A semi-truck barreling down the left lane lost control and jackknifed, sending cars scattering in every direction. I had no time to react. My little sedan was caught in the chaos, slammed from the side, flipping twice before landing upside down. I remember the crunching metal, the shattering glass, and then nothing. When I opened my eyes again, I wasn't in my car. I wasn't even on Earth. At first there was darkness, endless and suffocating, like being submerged in black water. But it wasn't just dark, it was alive. I could feel the weight of something malevolent pressing in on me, as though I had wandered into a den of predators. Then out of the blackness, I saw them. Shadowy figures moved toward me, their forms indistinct but terrifyingly real. They radiated hatred so intense it felt like it was burning through me. These weren't just bad vibes or the stuff of nightmares. They were real, intelligent, and filled with a rage I couldn't comprehend. They circled me, whispering in voices that sliced through my mind like knives. "You're ours now," they hissed. "You wasted your life. You'll never escape." Panic surged through me. I tried to run, but there was nowhere to go. The shadows grew closer, their whispers turning into guttural roars. Just as I thought I would be swallowed by them, a blinding light erupted around me. The light didn't just push back the darkness, it annihilated it. The shadows screamed and scattered like cockroaches exposed to sunlight. And then I saw him. Jesus. His presence was so overwhelming, I fell to my knees. He wasn't like the paintings or the stained glass windows. His form was radiant, almost too brilliant to look at. Yet somehow I couldn't take my eyes off him. His gaze held everything: love, authority, sorrow, and joy all at once. "Daniel," he said, his voice cutting through me with both gentleness and power. "You are not meant to stay here. But there is something you must see." Before I could even respond, I was pulled into a whirlwind of scenes, snapshots of my life, but not as I remembered them. These weren't just memories. They were spiritual realities intertwined with my everyday actions. I saw myself in moments of quiet prayer, prayers I had thought were rushed, unimportant, or even forgotten. But in this realm, I could see their impact. In one scene, I was sitting at the hospital chapel after a particularly hard shift, muttering a simple prayer for a dying patient I had been unable to save. I had thought the prayer was meaningless, a way to soothe my own guilt. But now I saw the truth. As I prayed, beams of light shot out like arrows, piercing through a dense black fog that had surrounded the patient. I saw angels, massive armored beings of light, fighting off grotesque, shadowy creatures that clawed at the patient's soul. My prayer, feeble and hurried as it was, had tipped the scales, giving the angels the strength to drive the darkness away. I wept as I watched, realizing that what I had dismissed as a whisper into the void had been a weapon in a cosmic battle. In another scene, I saw my younger self praying for my brother Ethan, who had struggled with addiction for years. I had prayed out of frustration, thinking my words were hitting a ceiling. But here, I saw the chains that had bound Ethan in the spiritual realm shattering with every word I spoke. "Do you see now, Daniel?" Jesus asked. "No prayer is ever wasted. Every word of faith is a weapon against the enemy." Then he showed me something darker. I saw the times I had chosen to skip prayer, to scroll through my phone, to binge-watch TV, to numb myself with distractions. Each of those moments wasn't just a lost opportunity, it was a victory for the enemy. I saw demons celebrating, their laughter chilling as they tightened their grip on areas of my life I had left unguarded. I saw how they sowed seeds of doubt, fear, and complacency, knowing that every day without prayer was a day they could fortify their strongholds. But Jesus wasn't condemning me. His eyes were filled with compassion. "Daniel," he said, "the enemy is terrified of those who pray. Even your weakest prayers send shockwaves through their ranks." Suddenly, I was back in the hospital ER, watching my colleagues work frantically to revive me. My body lay lifeless on the table, but in the spiritual realm, the battle was far from over. Dark figures hovered around my body, their claws reaching out to claim me. But above them, I saw light, dozens of lights, small but brilliant. They were prayers. Prayers from my wife, who was at home on her knees, crying out for me. Prayers from my mother, who hadn't stopped praying for me since the day I was born. Even prayers from patients I had cared for, people I hadn't thought twice about, but who had whispered prayers of gratitude for me. Each prayer was like a dagger, striking down the darkness and clearing the way for the angels who fought to bring me back. Jesus turned to me one last time. "Daniel, you've been given a gift. You've seen the truth. Now go back and tell them. Tell them that prayer is not a last resort, it's their greatest weapon." And just like that, I woke up. The first thing I saw was the tear-streaked face of my wife as she clutched my hand. "You're back," she whispered, her voice trembling with relief. I've never been the same since. I can't see prayer as a simple ritual or obligation anymore. It's a battleground, a lifeline, and the most powerful force we have. So now I'm telling you, pray, even when it feels small, even when you feel unworthy, because every single prayer shakes the foundations of hell and unleashes the power of heaven.